How about some props tonight as Tom Brady and the Buccaneers go to Chicago to face Nick Foles and the Bears? These odds are provided by PointsBet Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of NBC Sports. All right, first one, simple. More passing yards, Tom Brady or Nick Foles?
Yeah, this is a good one. Both defenses are very good. Both front fours are very good and dominant. They are. I think I'm going to go with Nick Foles here just because the Bucs will take a few more chances in their coverage. And they're a little young in the back end. I like their talent, but they're young and raw. And like we saw last week in that Chargers game, they let up some big plays. They've kind of let up some big plays in every game, really. So I'm going to go with Foles, too. And also into that, why I think that I just don't think there's any way. The Bears O-line, there's no way they're going to run on that Bucs front. This Bucs team, I mean, like I said yesterday, watch out because it just looks like it's all kind of going in the right direction, and they got talent. And I think you and I both look at them as the third best team in the NFC right now.
All right, bonus topic between the two quarterbacks. Which one will have more receiving yards?
Well, I think that time is gone for Brady, where I don't think they'll even call a play for him anymore. I think we've realized that's not his cup of tea. So I'm going to go with Nick Foles on that one, too. But what do you think about the yards? What do you think's going to happen there?
I think it's going to be Brady.
Yeah,
I really do.
I know. It's hard. It's hard, right.
It's his first primetime game away from New England.
Mm-hmm.
He will be keenly aware of that. He's keenly aware of the fact of what Nick Foles did to him the last time he faced Foles. I think Brady's going to be very motivated tonight, very primed tonight. Now, the problem is he's got some banged-up receivers, but he'll make it happen.
You okay?
I got full faith.
You still good there? You still got water going down the wrong tube? You good?
I'm fine. I'm fine. It's always better when your co-host points it out as you're fighting through it.
That's what we do.
Fine.
That's what we do.
Tom Brady, I still, when he runs, I expect to hear John Facenda's voice because it looks like he's in slow motion. And in recent years, I've noticed that when he runs, it looks like he's wearing ski boots, like he's chasing his skis down the mountain. I mean, it's just for as great as a quarterback as he is, it's very ungainly when it's time for him to try to move. Although he had a nice little, on one of his the touchdown pass to Mike Evans in the back of the end zone this week,
good.
He
know.
was moving pretty well.
I know.
I almost thought he was going to run it. That's how well he was moving. All right, first to throw an interception tonight, Tom Brady or Nick Foles?
I think I'll go with Nick Foles here. I will. I mean, Brady's, of course, thrown some interceptions. We know that. I think he'll be careful with the football, though. I do. This is an interesting matchup because of these defenses and what they do. But, yeah, I'm going to go Nick Foles. I think Nick Foles is going to get caught in some moments where the pressure around him will just be so tough. He'll get hit as he throws, or he's going to be people all around him as he's throwing, and it'll be an errant pass, something like that.
I agree with you on that one as well. All right, more receiving yards. Mike Evans of the Buccaneers or Allen Robinson of the Bears?
I'm going to go with Allen Robinson. Listen, I know I seem to be picking the Bears here in this. It's just the way the matchup sets up. The Bears their defense, their pass defense, they don't put a lot of guys in the box and go, we're going to stop the run. They play to kind of stop the pass and put a lot of faith in their front seven to kind of just stop the run by themselves. And, I already talked about a little bit of the young guys in that Tampa secondary and everything that way. I'm going to go with Allen Robinson because I would just think that Fuller is matched up against Mike Evans. They're going to really be all over him because of some of the banged-up people in that Buccaneers wide receiving core like you mentioned, to where I'll go Allen Robinson.
Yeah, and just so we're on the same page about these injuries, Mike Evans, questionable with an ankle that he injured,
right.
And it looked bad when it happened against the Chargers on Sunday.
It did.
You've got Chris Godwin out with a hamstring. He'll miss his second straight game. Scotty Miller is questionable with hip and groin injuries. He's a guy you can count on to catch a deep pass in every game. Justin Watson, number 17, who flashes from time to time, he's out with a chest injury.
Wow.
Rob Gronkowski has a shoulder injury, but he has no designation on the final report, which means he's
Howard
good to go.
got hurt.
O.J. Howard's out for the year. He's
Right.
not even on the injury report. He's on injured reserve. LaShawn McCoy is out for the game with an ankle injury, and Leonard Fournette is doubtful with an ankle injury. So a lot of the weapons simply not available to the Buccaneers and Tom Brady tonight. Short week, not enough time for some of these guys to fully heal. I suspect Mike Evans will play. I suspect Scotty Miller will play, which is helpful.
Right.
But, it's not ideal for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as they try to get to 4-1.
It's an interesting game because it really it's one of those things where I think the Bucs are the better football team, but Chicago matches up well with the Bucs. They have some things that they'll be able to look at, I think, and go, well, we feel good in this area. We can keep this game close. It'll be about their offense and Nick Foles eventually. I mean, it's going to come down to that. I really do. Can that Bears O-line that got absolutely mauled last week by DeForest Buckner and the Colts, they got a same type of group coming in here right now with JPP, Shaq Barrett, Vita Vea, and Ndamukong Suh. They will push you around, and that to me is where the game will be won. Can the Bears O-line just hang in there and not let them ruin the game? If not, they have a chance, but if they do ruin it, watch out.
I still think it's Vita Vea, although every time I hear you say Vita Vea, I don't know.
It is Vita Vea.
Vita Vea.
Right.
Vita
Why
Vea.
would you listen
It's
to
Vita
any
Vea.
English that comes out of my mouth? The point might be right. The enunciations and things, you know that's questionable.
Vita Vea and the Buccaneers defensive line. Yeah, and at least it's not as bad as Danielle Hunter, who actually may indeed end up missing the rest of the season. So you don't have to worry about saying Danielle Hunter's name for the rest of the year if that's the case. Last one, Rob Gronkowski, over/under receiving yards tonight, 37.5. He is averaging 22 yards receiving per game this year.
I'm going to go under. I got to see it first to believe it there. I do. Just, again, we saw a little bit better movement. We talked about 2 days ago, I think, on Gronkowski, where at least it looked better. But I'm not sitting here going, oh, he's a weapon yet or anything like that. But he might be getting there. Maybe we're like 3 weeks from now, we start to go, okay, here's Gronk. We're starting to see the old guy a little.
But with all these guys injured,
with
O.J. Howard out,
right,
there's a necessity for Gronk to do more than just than pass block or run block. The play last week, I went back and watched that over and over again.
Yeah.
The one thing I have to give him credit for, he made the catch in traffic.
Oh, yeah.
There have been opportunities earlier in the year for him to make big catches in traffic, and he just, he was off for a year. But I still watch him fire off the line, Chris, and it just feels like I'm watching Tom Brady try to run.
I got you. You're right.
It's just not. It's not. And so when is it going to be there? When do you reach your maximum? Because he's been in this now for 2 months, setting aside whatever he did or didn't do in the offseason working with Tom Brady. They showed up late July. It's now October the 8th.
Yeah.
He's had time to get in shape.
Right.
Is this as good as it's going to get? And tonight is the night. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Every other game they've played hasn't been under that microscope of the spotlight of national television. And this is the first Thursday night game that gets the blowout treatment. The other ones were NFL Network only. This one is the Fox, NFL Network, Amazon extravaganza.
Yeah.
So everything Gronk does is going to be watched. And I tell you what, if I'm Fox, I put a camera on Gronk. I want to see how he's moving. I want to be able to have Troy Aikman say, this guy's running like he used to, or he's not running like he used to. Because the he's not in shape yet thing, I think that ship has sailed. I think he's in as good a shape as he's ever going to be in right now. And if anything, it's injuries that are going to slow him down over the course of the rest of the season. He's not going to get in better shape and suddenly become faster.
Yeah, right. No, I think everything you said is like 100%, dead accurate. Only thing I'll say to it is, like, you do get in shape, and you might take a little bit to where, okay, I've gotten in shape, and now I've got to become explosive again, right? And that to me is where I'm going to look at, like, to what you're saying, when he comes off the ball. Yeah, it looks kind of like, okay, here we go. Come on now, truck, keep it going. Here we go. Like, he's, like, got to, build up speed that way. So we'll see. I think the next 2 to 3 weeks, like I said, I think will be very telling to go, okay, whoa, we saw a jump, or no, this is just what it is. This is who he is now, and don't expect anything more. I think we're getting to that point to where I won't be able to say, oh, he's not quite back in the swing of things or whatever. You're right, and I'll be watching that tonight. Be interesting to see how that goes. They love throwing seam routes. Tight ends right up the hashes, or slot receivers up the hashes. Brady's great at that. That's where he always hit Gronk. It's where Gronk had the catch last week. He had the drop pass too. But they like doing that. I don't know if the Bears' defensive scheme will lend to a lot of that. That's why I was a little scared to go with that over on the 37.5 yards receiving.
I'll go over just because I think they'll come up with ways to get the ball
Yeah.
in his hands because they need to. But, you know, when he takes those first couple steps off the line of scrimmage, he just has that look of a guy who used to be a lot faster, isn't now, and can't quite understand it, and is trying to, like, try harder. Like, maybe I'll be faster if I really try harder coming out of the gates, and that's not how it works. Speed is something you either have or you don't have. And once it's gone, it's gone. And he's in the process, anger, denial, bargaining, depression, and acceptance of realizing that he's not as fast as he used to be. So he's going to have to figure out how to work within the boundaries of what skills he currently has. But whether it was the year off, whether it's the accumulation of injuries, or whether it's just father time is catching him a hell of a lot faster than it's catching his quarterback, Gronk is not the guy, Chris, that he used to be. But he still, I think, can help that team, and I will go over tonight just because he's one of the only healthy bodies in the passing game.
Yeah, no, I think that there's something to watch. You're right. I mean, that'll tell us where Evans is and all those type of things. But yeah, if they feel like, ooh, they're not 100%, we better have a section in my play sheet this week that's get the ball to Gronk and special plays for him there. This could be the week. With the status of where their wide receivers are at and everything like that, no doubt.
On that Gronk point, a bonus question.
Yeah.
The veteran/old tight end more likely to have a touchdown tonight, Rob Gronkowski for the Buccaneers or Jimmy Graham for the Bears? Remember, there was a time these two were the marquee tight ends in the National Football League. There was that year where they were going back and forth for the all-time tight end receiving yardage record. Remember that was 2011, I think?
Yep.
Which one's more likely to score a touchdown tonight?
I mean, Jimmy Graham's a specimen, too. When I was working in New England, the Saints and Sean Payton and Drew Brees came up there, and we had, a days of practices and scrimmages before the preseason game. Jimmy Graham's one of those guys where, I mean, he's bigger than Gronk. I don't think people realize that. He is a really big guy. Now, he's not nearly as physical as Gronk is. I'm going to go with Jimmy Graham on this one. It's another one. I just got to see it first before I give Gronk anything that way. Graham has been we get inside the 10 and we'll just throw it up for you guy for the Chicago Bears. And I could see that happening tonight with the way the Bucs play and kind of leave their guys one-on-one a lot where he could get that opportunity once again.
I've always been a big Jimmy Graham fan, and I don't know what the issue's been in recent years. It irritated me when he went to Seattle, and they were complaining that he doesn't block.
Yeah.
That's not what he does.
Blocked, right.
That's not what he does. Right. He's also not playing quarterback, right? So, I mean, I never liked that. But he's always had a good way about him. He's got a great story. And he used to post the videos. I think he may still do of him flying all sorts of different planes, which always makes me nervous to see. But I hope he does well tonight. And it's good to see him having some success. 3 touchdowns so far for the Chicago Bears this year. But another little wrinkle and another reason to get excited about tonight's game. Definitely better than last week's game.
What?
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.